It was the biggest case of the year so far, and the lead lawyer on the prosecution side, Richard Wright, was nowhere to be found. Not only that, but his office was spotless. It wasn't just the papers on his desk in order, and his files neatly stacked. Even his coffee cup was washed. But there was one thing out of place. A single blood-stained pen lying on his desk. And it would be the only clue as to what really happened to him. Richard Wright was a self-made man. He didn't come from money parents or an esteemed lineage. He clawed his way up from the bottom with sheer grit and determination. Now he was one of the best criminal defense attorneys around, known for always getting his client off on a technicality. His current client, Marcus Lomax, was charged with racketeering, extortion, and money laundering, and he was about to make a plea bargain deal with the day. So why did he skip town? Was it because he was afraid of going to jail himself? Or was it because he wanted to protect his client? Hardly. The first person to notice Richard's absence was his associate, Amelia Stone. She arrived at the office bright and early to find no sign of her boss. At first, she thought that he might be running late due to traffic. After all, the courthouse was 45 minutes away. But when she tried calling him, his phone went straight to voicemail. Worried, Amelia drove to his house. No answer there. She tried his cell again, then called the courthouse to let them know he wouldn't be coming in. Then she called the police to report him missing. It was unusual for Richard to miss an important meeting like this one. Plus, he had a strange allergy to being alone in his car, which is why his office was always filled with half-eaten takeout containers and why he had to drive a company car, a shiny silver Lexus with tinted windows. But that car was now parked in his driveway, with all 4 tires still firmly on the ground. All signs pointed to the fact that he simply didn't show up on his own free will. But why? When the police finally got inside his house, they found out that he de-emptied the fridge and left a few days' worth of clothes behind. It looked as if he planned to go away for a while. But where would he go? And why? As Amelia waited for the police to search Richard's house, she took a moment to look around his office. It was immaculate. The only thing out of place was the blood-stained pen. Her eyes fell on the open drawer and curiosity got the better of her. Inside was a small safe. She didn't know the combination, but she managed to pry it open. Inside was a gun. Why would he need a gun? Was he in danger? Or was he planning to hurt someone? At that moment, Detective Harding approached her. He was Richard's age, tall and handsome with salt and pepper hair. "Can I ask you a few questions?" Amelia nodded dumbly, still in shock. Detective Harding wasted no time. "Did Mr. Wright threaten anyone recently?" "No," she said slowly, shaking her head. "Did you know where he could have gone?" "I don't know." She paused. "He does have a chalet in the mountains. But why would he go there? He hates the cold." Harding thanked her for her help and soon arrived at the chalet. The winding road up the mountain was flanked by snow-covered pines. The sight was beautiful, but the detective's mind was on the task at hand. Was this where Richard had gone? Had he planned to hide out here until the trial was over? He pulled his cruiser in front of the chalet and got out, his eyes scanning the premises. Everything seemed in order. Nobody was outside, and there were no signs of forced entry. But he had been here recently. The tire tracks in the snow leading up to the chalet were fresh. He walked around to the back of the building, his eyes scanning the ground for anything out of the ordinary. That's when he saw it, a single footprint in the soft snow. Someone had been here recently, but they weren't the only one. There was another set of footprints, one that matched his size. The detective felt a chill run down his spine. What if Richard hadn't meant to go to the chalet? What if someone had brought him here? Harding continued his investigation, hoping to find some answers. He needed to know one thing: was Richard dead or alive? And if alive, where was he? As the detective continued his investigation, the truth began to unravel. Richard had faked his own disappearance, staging the whole thing to avoid the trial. But why? What was he so afraid of? And who was the mysterious person in the chalet with him?